You know what time it is? It's time to get in the game with your host, Cynthia J.
Good Tuesday evening. What's up, everybody? So glad that you could join us here on your favorite sports show, Get in the Game. And I am your host with the most when it comes to sports, Cynthia J. Thank you for joining us this evening. And I am more than delighted here joining me on set. So we're going to do things a little bit different. I know you guys are used to us talking sports, but we're going to incorporate sports with business this evening and talk about what it's like to be married and doing business together. And this is exciting for me because my brother and sister join me to the left, Krystle and James Little. I probably said that backwards. Usually they say the man's name first. But she was my sister before he became my brother. So I gotta give props where props due. James and Krystle Little. Let me say it that way because I want people to respect mine when he comes. So James and Krystle Little here on set. James, regional vice president of the Dream Scouting Network, and Miss Krystle, who you guys know here in Jacksonville and getting to know nationwide, Creations by Krystle, a design company. So we're going to start with what is going on in America right now because you guys both work full-time jobs and you have full-time businesses on the side. So let's start fresh. COVID-19 came, shook everything up. You guys are working from home. How has that been for you with that adjustment?
How has that been for you? Because it's been a whirlwind. It's not too bad. We have a schedule now, so it's kind of easier for us to do everything. They know to get up, do such and such assignments, eat breakfast. So we're getting a hang of it. So not too bad.
My schedule usually I get up, I get out the house, I come home, everybody in bed. So being home all day.
Yeah.
I fired the grill up twice in like 5 days, so they getting fed pretty good.
Yeah.
So we have 4 kids at home, and they like the process. They don't really care for the school part. They think they're on vacation, but we try to make sure it stays where it needs to be.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard someone recently say, I actually think it was my mom, shout out to my mom, best momager in the world, but she recently said when kids have a good home life, they're getting comfortable. Now, for those kids who don't necessarily enjoy their parents' company, it's a little different for them now. But you guys have a great home life, and so you've been able to create that. What's been the most difficult thing to adjust to during this time?
The lunch stomachs, the food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need you to put on that same school stomach you had when you was in school. Put it on while you home. I'm in the kitchen every 2 minutes. So we have to... Okay, every morning, get up, get your snacks for the day. Once you eat all your snacks, boo, that is it. You get your breakfast, lunch, and your dinner.
Yeah.
You get your 2 snacks, but after that, wait till the next day to get the rest of your snacks. So
Yeah.
it's the eating part.
That's
Everything else is good.
Yeah, that's definitely it, because we got, we have, 2 little ones, 6 and, about to be 7 and 10. And then we have, 18 and 17-year-old, and they're athletes. They work out. We lift, they lift weights. They do exercises. The kids are running around the house because, can't go outside as much. So they burning all the energy, trying to make sure they got what they want, what they need, and they just keep blowing through it. So
Yeah.
that's it.
So now let's talk about the businesses. Krystle, you've had your own design company for how long now?
Interior decorating for 4 years.
Okay.
4 years.
And James, you've been a part of the Dream Scouting Network.
It's going into my 2nd year.
Awesome. And you were just recently promoted.
Yes.
Yes. So talk about that promotion. How did that come about?
Let's talk about that.
So I started with the company. The backstory is I was working. I've worked several full-time jobs before. I was working as a manager for a fitness club, but my son, I felt like he was recruitable. And all the programs that are available, you have to talk to somebody in some other city, some other state, online, and they're charging us ridiculous amounts of money to help get a kid, recruited. So I started doing research. I came across Dream Scouting Network because there was an ad for a regional scouting director in Jacksonville.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I put in for the ad. Actually got turned down for the job initially.
Okay. Wow.
So then I went to the website, signed Jaden up. So they sent us welcome to Dream, and then the thing on the social media said welcome to Dream Team James. So when we did that, I contacted Shannon, the CEO, and let him know, hey, thank you for my son, but I'm actually interested in working with you guys. I'm already planning to do this anyway. So we jumped in, and we've been working together ever since, and I've helped with some of the growth of the business and things like that. So.
Now, where does your passion come from to help? Because the thing about the Dream Scouting Network is you guys kind of create a platform for even as young as middle school kids to begin building a portfolio, beginning the process of being recruiting. Where does your passion come from to help in that aspect?
My passion for it really comes from my own personal journey. So when I was in high school, I was a student athlete. The school I went to, Maple Heights High School in Ohio. What's up, y'all?
Shout out to Ohio.
Shout out to Ohio. But we had a lot of good talent in our area, but it just seemed like guys weren't going anywhere compared to the schools around us and the guys around us. Guys that I was connected with were going to schools. My senior AAU team, 9 guys went D1. I was not one of them. So my mom didn't know anything. We were getting calls from coaches. And my high school coach would give me a letter, not tell me what to do with it. I wasn't signed up for the NCAA clearinghouse at the time. No one checked on my grade point averages. No one told me when to take the SAT. No one told me. Yeah. So there was nothing available. And then, of course, back at 96, 97, there's no social media. There's no cell phones. There's none of that stuff really out there. So, my sister was also a D1 recruit. I have a nephew that's a D1 recruit. And I've been, instrumental in, being able to help and advise in those situations, along with parents and friends that I've known for over 20 years. I've helped out. So when it came to a year ago, when it came to my son, I didn't want him to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
Whether he was recruitable or not, that's what we're gonna find out.
Right.
So my son became my guinea pig in a sense. So I was like, I joke, but he's my number 1 client.
Right.
He's my number 1 client.
He's yours.
He's mine.
Yeah,
so I said, I put it this way: if I could get him recruited, I feel like I can get any kid recruited.
That's good.
And that's no knock against my son, but he's a late groomer. He's a late boomer. He didn't start till the 10th grade. So it was a lot of work, and he had to be willing to do the work because I was willing to do the work. But my passion for it comes from I've always been about kids. I've always been about youth, especially young men, trying to help advance their lives. In high school, we used to do a camp on Saturdays after our games, and we would take the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and we would coach them. So it started as early as high school for me wanting to mentor and help young men, especially. But it just grew over to I'm passionate about sports. I'm passionate about helping kids, further their lives in any way that I can. So that's really where it all came down in the long answer. So
yeah. And so from the mom perspective, right, because the thing that I love about y'all's story, and we'll just share, right, is it's a blended family. So you become kind of sports mom of a younger athlete that is, like James said, is a late bloomer. So what role did you play in this? Once James comes home and he says, you've obviously known he's had this passion to help kids in sports, but now he's doing the Dream Scouting Network. So how do you guys become a tandem to help make sure not only his recruiting of your son, but even in the business himself? How do you play a role in assisting in that?
From October 6, 2007, I signed saying, I'm going to be here for you for whatever.
Yeah.
So I just jump in wherever it's needed. His first private
event. Yeah, we had a scouting event last month.
What you need, baby?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Period.
And sorry, to back up on that I kept wanting to ask her, could she help me? And it's like the day before, hey, what you need me to do? I'm like, oh, my bad.
Well, I need to do this. Boom, what you doing? This is what I like.
Yeah, right.
And do you think that is that one reason why you think couples kind of shy away from going into business together? Because you're already doing so
everything
much
else together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So how are y'all balancing that?
The thing I deal with is because she does a full-time job. She has those responsibilities. I make sure the younger two get to school in the morning. She gets them after school. She makes sure everything's done with them at night. Then on the weekend, she usually has an event or something else going on. Then she sings in the choir. Then we're at church. Then we're doing whatever other volunteering. We got a godson in Orlando. She's picking him up. You know, we're doing all this stuff. So I try to, in my mind, I'm always trying to lighten her load as much as I can, but support her at the same time. And I think she does the same thing for me. But when there's an opportunity for us to be together and work together, like I've done events with her in the past. I went to her event, showed up, got there to break it down, everything down, pack everything up, make sure everybody moving fast and getting things done because I want to get my wife home.
Yeah, right.
So I show up like security.
Right.
but I mean we found an even balance when we can tell when each other are tired, when each other need to rest, and we allow each other to do that. Keep the rest of the family away, let daddy rest, let mommy rest. You know, things like that. So we found a good balance to it. So
yeah. Now, Krystle, James kind of has a sports background. So he's played sports, been involved with sports. Do you have a sports background?
I played basketball.
You did.
I played
basketball.
middle and high school. I played basketball.
Okay.
It stopped there.
But would you say when it comes to like post high school, your knowledge of it is not like
but I still follow basketball more than I follow anything else. I love basketball. When I'm recording, I'm on the recording like, okay, I shouldn't have said that, or I'm too loud with my chair. I'm there. I love basketball.
Yeah.
So this was good.
What would you give kind of advice and input from a mother's perspective? Because you've seen him now in Dream Scouting Network for 2 years. And one thing James said that is obvious when it comes to parents not knowing how to get their students help. What about Dream Scouting Network from a wife's perspective, as your husband being VP of Scouting? What do you see that can help some moms understand how this system works?
I don't know if he's different from a lot of people. He likes to inform. A lot of people not going to do that. Right. So he set the bar extremely high for that because he just likes to make sure nobody's getting short-handed, nobody's feeling like you're taking advantage of me. He makes it easy for people. And I don't know if anybody else is going to be like that, but he makes it look easy. He makes it look like, okay, you're not in this alone, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can to make sure that you are at ease with the industry, basically. So just seeing him do everything, okay. I see you.
Gotcha. All right, so let's kind of break down Dream Scouting Network. You guys are in how many states now?
We're 23 states.
Okay.
We have, I think, over 43, I think we're approaching 50 scouts nationwide. So I know we just added like Sacramento, California, Texas. There's 3 or 4 of us here in Florida, South Florida, Maryland, Ohio, Detroit, the ones I can think of, Corpus Christi, Portland, Oregon, Jersey.
And your area of coverage is?
Southeast, primarily North Florida, but Southeast, anywhere, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, mostly Florida.
Yeah. So kind of tell parents, give them an idea of what you do as a scout. Because a lot of times when people in athletics hear scout, they always think professional. They don't think of the middle school, like there's no way there could be a scout for middle school or high school students. So kind of explain what your role is.
So the main role is to identify student athletes that could use our services. When it comes to that, there's a certain level of athlete that's out there that's elite, that's already, they're either using social media, they've hooked up at the U team, or they've already got it. So they're in that top 1% of kids that are being recruited. But the rest, they either don't know how to market themselves. There's a lot of kids walking around with smartphones and cell phones and don't realize how to use that as a tool. And every business I've been involved in for the last 10 plus years, my cell phone is my marketing tool.
Right.
So I teach kids and teach parents how that works. The marketing and branding you can start that as early or as late as you want. Of course, the later you get started, the little tougher it is, but it's not impossible. And I've been able to show parents and show kids that. But the earlier you can get your name out there, it's going to help you. It's going to help you in the process. The more people that see your face, that know who you are, that see what you do. So I'll evaluate kids. I go to games. I'll have events. I'll go to showcases. I'll recommend showcases. There's some showcases I recommend to parents to say your kid should be here playing against the better talent, because maybe they don't play against that talent in high school. So the more you can showcase your ability in front of the best, you're gonna have a better chance of being evaluated and be seen. And I take film, I edit film for them, and just show them, where they're at. I have kids call me and text me on a regular basis. Hey, what do you think I need to work on? What do I need to do this? How do I need to, And I just try to give them from my opinion and my professional standpoint, and just all the people that I know in this industry, in this business, what they look for and what I've talked to them about, and just give them those little tools to push yourself, forward. Because it's a competitive market. I mean,
right.
It's like we all know, from high school from middle school to high school to college to pro, that number starts going down. So,
yeah.
Marketing has been my background too. So my major was marketing in college. I love marketing. I love trying to find different ways. I come up with ideas on a daily basis, probably every hour, as she say. So I'm always, shooting stuff at her to say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about, some of my partners? Hey, what do you think about this? I'm just that guy that's always got an idea, and I feel like throw enough stuff at the wall, something's gonna stick.
Yeah, yeah.
and this is what stuck for me.
So, Krystle, when it comes to, because we know in our community, a lot of our young men, young women who are athletes are being raised in a single-parent household. So one thing that James said that I kind of want you to hone in on is being able to use a smartphone as a way to help market your kids. So advice that you would give to the single parent who maybe doesn't have the support of a spouse or family members who can help assist to help market that child. What are some of the things you've seen and you personally have been able to do in the case of your son, who you guys have been getting marketed?
I'm definitely on Instagram. But I mean, single moms, they have girlfriends. They have some kind of circle that support them in any kind of way. They have a soundboard they can bounce their ideas off, but just being active on these platforms will really help. If somebody see that you're trying to do something, hey, I see you. People make connections with you. Hey, I can do it for free, or I can help you out with this. Just open your mouth and talk. People out there to help you.
Yeah, and you've kind of become the team mom. You word. I mean, Jaden's on his way out of high school now to have so fast. But so you've kind of been the team mom. So what have you done to help kind of partner with James as far as his role of scouting? Because team moms see everything because they're picking up all the kids and sometimes feeding all the kids. So have there been some things you've been able to do to help assist when it comes to him being able to scout some of these kids?
I'm the taxi.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure, I'm the taxi. Games, practices. I like renting cars, taking kids. Like he had to take a couple kids, just providing what they need to make it easier for them. So, okay, well, I need a car. Okay, let's go get a car. Let's go rent a car. Okay, well, we need to stay. Okay, here's the budget for y'all food. Like, just one less thing for them to think about.
Yeah.
I'll try to do what I can do.
Yeah. Now, the gentleman who started this company, James, Shannon, out of, I think, Delaware,
right,
started it back in 2015. So it's an African-American male.
Yes.
So we love that because, again, going back to a lot of our kids who are under-resourced. So what do you see as one of the major issues when it comes to scouting those kids and helping put them on a platform that Dream Scouting Networks helps to do in a good way?
Yeah. So, I mean, we constantly do, like I said, with the branding, we do announcements. Typically, we're trying to get to the point where every kid that signs up with us, that does a free spotlight, free profile with us, that we're putting that on social media right away. as fast as possible. We've gotten to the point now where we got so inundated with so much information, and we're trying to change the site to catch more. Me and Shannon were on the phone about that the other day. It's like he's been spread thin because he's got more responsibilities. Because now you have more RSDs. You got VPs out here now. So there's guys that need him in a different capacity where he was so much hands on with scouting the kids. I mean, he's got kids like Clark Phillips III. That was a kid that he worked with that was a Ohio State commit and switched to Utah. So he's got kids he's worked with personally in the last 15 years that he's gotten D1 scholarships on the football side. And Shannon's great. I looked at his background, I looked at what he was doing and observed it myself, and I said, this is something I want to be a part of. He needed somebody that was heavy on basketball. I played football, I know football, but I felt basketball was where my biggest call was because my son was already doing it and it made it easier. But, getting the kids information out there. Me personally, I believe in connections, I believe in relationships. So I reach out to coaches that I know personally, guys I play with that are administrators at certain colleges. I probably have 70 to 80 personal connections that I can reach out to. So I try to find ways for the kids that I have, especially the 2020 kids now and 2021, trying to get them on the radar of a school or a program, right away. Education is big. Educating the parents and the students about. Like, some kids are delusional about where they're at.
Right.
Everyone wants to be a D1 kid. Yeah. That's such a small part. My son, is going to NAIA school. Love the school, love the coaches. They wanted them. They showed they wanted them. And I'm trying to teach and get kids to understand, go where you're wanted. Just because you want to go in a place doesn't always necessarily mean that's the right place for you.
Yeah.
So educating them on that, educating parents on how to handle this process going forward. Whether they stay with us or they stop the program or whatever, if they get in early and just say, what, I thank you, I think I got enough that I can do it on my own, that's great. The kid never leaves our program. They never leave it. They're never not a part of our program when they join us. So we just want to make sure that kids are getting a shot. More kids are getting a shot to be a part of their dreams, and that's where dream.
Yeah, Dream Scouting Network, yeah. So you guys have, it's kind of like a 4-step process. I thought it was pretty cool. So you have a marketing plan that you create, then you have camps and showcases nationwide, which we definitely want to talk about that because with the virus going on, we want to know what's the plan moving forward with that. The education and the recruiting process, and then the Recruit Nation. So kind of explain what happens when you guys get a kid and you go through that 4-step process. Okay.
Typically on the first part, I just did a call this weekend with 2 parents and the kid, and we basically, just kind of, these are 2 kids that I had, if we kind of go to showcase, I had a private workout with some kids. There's some kids that I've never seen before in the city. There's some I've seen, and there's a couple of kids that, needed to be evaluated. So I wanted to see them with my own eyes. So I brought them into an event, and we watched them. So we kind of came up with a plan of from where they're at. You kind of evaluate, okay, what's the school doing for you now? Who have you heard from? Is there any schools that have reached out to you who has interest in you? And then what do you have interest in? So we go through a process with that. We evaluate them we kind of assess their current situation, what's next, and then kind of put some action steps together. And then once we do the action steps with each individual kid, we go that process. The scout, as far as the events and things, everyone has, every scout has their territory. I've helped Shannon in the past year kind of come up with ideas for how our showcases need to be run. We keep tweaking that. I'll do an event here, hopefully, if the coronavirus, doesn't stop it, probably by August. Live streaming is important to us, being able to do that. That's something we're looking into because some of these kids are going to lose out on opportunities with NCAA Live period. So, it's a fluid situation because you gotta. The program allows us to to me, also kind of attack everybody where they're at. Because you can't really put everybody in one box. So every kid's different, every parent, every situation. I have kids that reach out to me on social media every day. I can't get their parents on the phone. So how I'm handling that situation is different from the guy that I'm talking to whose parents are like, hey, let's meet, let's talk, let's Skype, let's do whatever. And I got Skype meetings scheduled this week. So, you know, there's a bunch of different situations going on right now that are different. But I try to make myself as accessible and flexible and as fluid as possible for the parents and the kids involved.
So when we talk about your individual businesses, so interior designing, scouting, how much has the virus kind of shut it down, and what are you kind of doing to help maneuver that to make sure your business doesn't decrease?
I'll go first, mine's shorter. So with interior decorating, I can do virtual. So we can do a FaceTime, we can do a Zoom, we can do whatever, and you can send me a video. You send me something. I just did one last week on the phone, just via text, and then a FaceTime call. So tell me what you need. I give you ideas. Somebody send me a message. Hey, I need this for this room. I need it like this size. I wanted to have this and this and this. Here's the link. There you go. Here's some options. Nothing's really changed. It can be done virtually.
So when it's done virtually, though, are you doing the shopping for them? Because I'm sure most of these people, they want you to get into their space and be hands-on. So we know with social distancing, you can't necessarily come by the house.
I mean, so you can get out and I can get in.
Yeah.
But
okay.
So I still can do the shopping. I'll have everything shipped to your house. Or I'll send you the link of where all the stuff is going to be that you're going to order. I'll send like a mood board. Here's the links for this mood board. Okay, there's another mood board. Here's the links for this mood board. You order, hey, I ordered this. I didn't quite like this one, so can you look for something else? Okay, cool. Send you something else. You order this. You can either wait until this shutdown is over or
for you to do it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I like to do a one-day install, get everything done. You leave, you come home fresh, and I go.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah. So virtual. Okay. Yeah. What about Dream Scouting Network? Because you can't necessarily get out and see these kids in action because there's no sporting events.
Yeah. Yes and no. So with me, it's actually helped more than it's hurt because I do have a full-time job. So my full-time job is in construction. So I do roofing. So I'm not able to go door to door or meet with individuals there. So this has allowed me to focus more on this. I've been on the laptop, you know, on my phone more, you know, talking to kids, talking to parents more because now I have more time. I'm not out 7, 8 o'clock at night, getting home at 8, 9, 10, and being up to 3 in the morning, sending emails. You know, I send emails to college coaches at 2 in the morning because I want them to get it at 7 a.m.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to send emails to college coaches in the middle of the day.
Right.
You know, if I'm on the phone, I'm talking to guys on Messenger. I'm talking to college coaches on Messenger. I'm talking to college coaches, you know, through text messages. You know, so I'm saying, hey, I got this kid. We got these kids here. So it's actually helped me because it's allowed me to get more film on kids. I have, you know, my YouTube page. It's changed where it used to be my family page and my personal page. It's changed. It's all scouting stuff. I've got kids' videos in a DSM prospect folder on my page. So now I watch college tape. I watch, you know, to see, okay, what kid here in the city fits that program. You know, I was talking to a guy in California, so I went and looked at 3 of their games online, and I said, hey, I have 2 kids I know that can play in your program next year. He's losing 6 seniors. That's top 5 scorers. These 3 kids, 2 of these 3 kids will work. So I sent that information in. So for me, it's allowed me to focus on the business. It allowed me to get my back office together. I think the first day, I was, you know, on my laptop, Excel spreadsheets, loading up all the profiles, questionnaires that I had, you know, getting all my contacts
together. Now you're
together.
shaking your head. Were you helping him with that?
No.
Assisting?
I proofread before he sits out.
Okay, so that's
just
your role.
not seeing him the whole day because he's in a room.
Yeah.
Like,
hey,
used to
you all
working.
right?
Like I cannot. This has been hard for me.
Yeah.
I love my family. I love my family to death. But being home with them all day, it's been a challenge.
It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
But does it, so bringing up that point and because you guys have some other businesses together.
Yes.
So you have your separate business, interior design, and your full-time job.
Yep.
You have your full-time job in Dream Scouting Network, but you have a business together.
Like a family.
Kind of family thing, yeah.
Yes. So talk about that. Who started it?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's always been it's always been a thing of mine that like I go back to high school. I just told my mom like I'm gonna retire at 30.
Yeah.
My vision of retirement is I'm not going to work for somebody and collect a check from them after 30. That's been like since I left the house at 18. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna pay my bills. But at a certain point,
30, yeah.
I'm then I got about 22, 23. I got turned on to passive income. So I teach my kids that. I talk to my sons about that. I talk, so in order for them to learn it, we had to find a way to say how will we set them up.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. So we talked about everything from creating T-shirts with different slogans and different like things that the kids like to say on it, and we've had ideas of we had BMX bikes that people throw away, refurbishing them and cleaning them, painting them up and selling them. That's a business I'm aboard. Every time I give my sons an idea, they say, "Dad, let's go." They say, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." Like even with Dream, like my oldest son and my Jaden, like Jaden's like his goal, he wrote in his application is that one of his goals is to finish college and be able to help other kids with this once he's done.
Yeah.
So he sees the value in it. He sees what I do, and he tells his friends like, "Man, y'all need to talk to my dad. Like he real about this." But our goal is to create something outside of working every day that we can pass on to our kids generationally that they can keep going. And one of the things is creating income through real estate, and so the business will have a real estate aspect to it. If they have hobbies that they can turn into, because I've shown them that they've seen me do. I've had my own businesses before. I've had a repair shop. I've had other things that are hobbies. I've always created hobbies into businesses for me. I've coached some kids. I've trained some kids. In the past. So I'm just teaching my kids to be able to do the same thing. If you have a passion for something, you can turn like her same thing. You can turn. I encourage her for years. Like, quit doing this stuff for free.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna miss you and you're gonna take a day off of work, somebody need to be paying you.
That is good advice. Yeah.
I said, we ain't gonna be together, and you done took money out the house. Somebody need to pay you.
Yeah. So that's how creations are.
I've been doing it since middle school. I've always done it.
Yeah.
Years. My first project was my home. My very first home my mom bought. A small little space, painted walls, drapes. The way I clean, I take stuff out of the room and then I redo everything. That's my idea of cleaning. I've always done it.
Look,
At my sister's house.
I had to tell her, I understand family. She had one aunt in particular. When we started dating early in our marriage, that was calling her to the house on a regular basis to reorganize her stuff. I understand family. I said, but
she got to be paid.
So you took a whole day off of work.
Yeah. To go help.
That's a vacation day we could have used.
Right.
Like.
Right. So when you talk about going into business together, what are some of the things you guys have? Because obviously, when you go in for the first time, everything doesn't go as planned. So what are some mistakes that you have made that you can kind of help other young couples that are thinking about, hey, babe, love you, I love you, let's go into business together?
He had his first business, so he knows the do's and don'ts because he had his repair shop. So he already kind of know. So it made it easier. Like, okay, well, no, let's not do that. Make sure we got this. So it made it easier to just, all right, go ahead, babe. I got you.
Yeah, and just to me, just knowing how to like support each other and knowing how to ride those waves, because there's gonna be. I'm like, babe, I got an idea. Let me tell you about this. Da 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 da. Hey, where the whiteboard at? Let's, what I'm saying? Let's. Hey, get a notebook. You got pen and paper? I'm ready to go. So I'm like, listen. If I don't get a certain type of like demeanor from her, or a certain type of like, if she don't answer me a certain way, I know. Okay, yeah, that's gonna go over here for a period of time. Like there's a.
You can tell.
You can tell, yeah.
Like
we talked on the way over here. Like the first night we met, the first date, we talked about entrepreneurship. We discussed entrepreneurship on our first date, and it's something that we both had, ambitions for. And when we got, before we got married, when we got married, like, we planned a lot of our wedding ourselves. Everything we did ourselves. So we planned stuff with each other for, almost 15 years now. So it's gotten easier. I mean, there's times where it's like, I don't think you should do that. And I don't think we've ever moved on anything without being together on it.
Yeah.
Like I've done network marketing. I said, hey, I'm gonna do this. I lay it out. To her, it's like, long as the idea makes sense.
If I don't get it, I'm like,
Yeah. So, but she gets to a point where I don't understand. Well, how is this gonna happen? What, and I never let anything I've done take food away, a bill being paid. You know what I'm saying? I've never jumped into something. Say, oh, babe, I'm about to take $3,000. I'm about to go do this and like do something. I've never, you know what I'm saying? I've always broken down like, hey, this is what it's gonna cost for me to do this. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff on the side, like for nothing. But over time it'll start paying for itself.
Yeah.
So she sees that vision, and I think she's jumped in with it. It's something like that it's going to, the business is going to allow us to travel at some point in time.
Yeah.
We're already looking at me going to Atlanta and going to Ohio to do stuff. So that's the cool part about it. Is we. So and there's a lot of us to include our kids. So that's the key thing too.
So, question. When you look at each other's businesses, so Krystle, when you look at Dream Scouting Network, because I'm just assuming, I'm not married yet, but I'm assuming that part of the balance in being in business together and supporting each other is you have to be able to see the potential in what your spouse is doing. So you've been in Creations by Krystle longer than he's been in Dream Scouting Network, but what do you see about the company that allows you to say, I can get behind this, push my husband, and then help to build it as well?
The fruit. Just to see the growth, to see his eyes all gazed and googly when he talks about it. It's the fruit mainly.
Yeah.
Like, I see the growth. I see what he's putting out and what he's getting back in return. So it makes it easier.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, child.
Now, when you say fruit, I know what you mean, because that's a spiritual key, but explain what that means. You help women not want to leave their husbands or kill them for always wanting to start something, because I think that's what keeps people, especially couples, from going into business. It's that people want to start something and they don't finish, but then people want to start something and they may not have the support.
Right.
So at some point, James had to know you would be on board, and you also had to show that you were on board. So you saw something, it was the fruit. You want to interject?
Yeah. So one of the issues that we have is, I'm in sales, and she tells me all the time,
you can sell her on anything.
So I try my best not to make her feel like I'm selling her, but the way I sell things is my natural.
So now I encourage it. Babe, sell me on.
Right.
Like, okay, so I'm not 100% on it. Come on, use your skills.
Bring it,
and convey me over to your side.
Yeah.
So
and even with her business, so I give her, we've talked about, our pricing setup with her business. And because I've done pricing, merchandising, inventory control, I've done all that in business. And I've every business I've been a part of, I've been a part of the growth phase. From AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, LA Fitness, everything I've been a part of the growth. So I've been a part of early stages, and I've been a part of those things, and I've seen the success and failures of what happens. And I know what my non-negotiables are. We have our non-negotiables. So, when it came to her business, I'm like, babe, there's certain things that you gotta be able to do and gotta have. Yeah. So I've already agreed, at some point in time, Dream and Creation by Krystle are going to be our primary businesses. I will work as her part-time salesperson if it need be to get things rolling, because I know that's the part that I bring to the table. So, and then teaching our kids how to manage it too, so they can go and work with her, they can come work with me. So we're teaching them at the same time. So they get 22, 23, they just keep it going.
Yeah. So talk about now the balance of, because I felt excited because I was like, I get to get them out of the house together. We've all been in the house. Yeah. But talk about the balance of that, because there's a lot of couples who are, I heard a gentleman say on the radio the other day, they're finding out that they don't like each other because they've been able to move around each other for a while now. when you talk about having a full-time job and a full-time entrepreneurship business, there is a lot of moving around. I'm sure there's times where, you know, you've said you come in late, they're already asleep. So talk about the balance of, we have our business time, we have our family time, we have mommy and daddy time.
Right.
She's throwing that to you.
So that's the thing I try to do, like in the sense of like right now. So I know, okay, she's gonna get up, she's gonna go downstairs into the office. She has office set up at the house, so she's gonna go down there. She's gonna get her thing going by like 7 a.m. So I know I'm typically getting up at 9, going to work. So I get 9, I wake the kids up. So they get up, they go into, we have a playroom that's doubled as a classroom. They go into the classroom, the little ones. I go downstairs, check on the big ones. Hey, what y'all got going on today? Everybody need to get up, it's school time. So they gonna drag a little bit. So then I'll go, you know, check my emails, check, you know, things I need to do. I have a list of already to-dos for the day that I need to do. The roofing company, I follow up with customers there. Usually that takes me, you know, a couple of hours to do that, send text messages, check to make sure forms are in, things like that. And I'm basically just waiting for people to call me on that. But with Dream, you know, I'm constantly, like literally, I've never had to charge my phone up so much. And I bought one of those little chargers that you set it on, so I went to plug it up on next to the bed. I'm in the room the whole time because I got the laptop in front of me, I got this TV, and I got the phone. I've charged my phone up 3 times a day. I never had to do that. I mean, it's been a long time since I had to do that. So I'm constantly on you know, with kids and parents and coaches, but I try to, you know, take a break from it, come downstairs, you know, see what she got going on, you know, watch the stuff. Yeah, I sit.
Sit right there, watch me watch whatever I'm watching, working.
Yeah.
He eating. What you doing?
Yeah, I run around with the kids. I've been cooking a lot more. Yeah. I'm the chef in the house, so
yes,
everybody,
he's the chef in the house.
Everybody loving that right now. Everybody loving that.
I will make sure your house is cooked and clean.
Really, I mean, what I hear you guys saying is it's learning how to shift when the season shifts, because a couple, maybe a month or so ago, wasn't necessarily like that.
Nah.
So now that the season has shifted, you guys have shifted.
Yeah, we still keep the kids' bedtime.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. This is still school.
Yeah.
I need y'all to sit down so we can sit down.
Yeah. Right.
And we'll have that time together.
Yeah.
So everything is still on a regular schedule, like a regular
schedule. So we do a lot of late night conversations. Yeah. You know, laughing and joking, like, you know, in our room, just pillow
talk.
Yeah.
Our pillow talk is usually like business related.
Yeah, that's good.
Or something about kids and clowning.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll see scroll. I mean, we do the typical stuff other couples probably do. We're on our phones together, but we're like showing each other, hey, you see this? laughing at stuff we see, stupid stuff. But I mean, I think we, like, without trying, without like having a discussion about it. I mean,
because we've already had a discussion.
We've had
discussions. When it was fresh, a lot of discussions was going on. Like, bruh. Yeah.
The first 5 years, we
got the thing.
You got it together.
Yeah.
So this has been something new for the set, because we're usually doing sports, so we kind of incorporate a little relationship. So come on and humor me, because we know the title of the show is Get in the Game. So Krystle, help wives get in the game when it comes to sports with their husbands, business with their husbands, hobbies with their husbands, because y'all have been married for
13 years in October.
And going on. And listen, they will go on and on. I was at the wedding, so I witnessed it. They will
Can we talk
go
about
on
that
and
real quick?
on.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that real quick?
Go ahead and
we talk about that real quick. So I want to say this about Satara, and her mom's in the room too. I remember telling her mom one time, like, Satara just jumped in on the day of our wedding. We had everything planned, but we didn't strictly have like a planner or a coordinator for that day. But this girl right here, I call her my sister since that day, because there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes people didn't know about, and you didn't know about. But she jumped in and. What y'all need? Who need to be here? What need to be here?
No, you're not sleeping here. You're going to sleep over here. And no, she's not taking this. No, she's going to take
And then the day of the wedding at the church, like, I mean, she was boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, I was just amazed from that day. I mean, you amazed me from that day. And I was like, we didn't really know each other that well. I know y'all was singing in the choir, getting to know each other. But it was like, you know what? And I told your mom one time, I remember telling her, I was like, she got a big blessing coming. She got a big blessing coming.
Tremendous.
And I said, the way you stepped up and I viewed you as a little sister, like from that day on. And that's always been the case with you and your family, is like, y'all family to us. And I thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. And like, we just wish and pray the best for you and everything that you do.
No crying on Get in the Game. We don't cry on Get in the Game. Get your head in the game. There's no crying in baseball.
Or getting in this game.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, this is not planned.
But I mean, even when you had some other business ventures that took you away from the city, like I just remember us talking, and I've been so excited for you about what you were doing, and knowing that the industry and the business that you're in, that you're the anomaly, you're not the norm, but I think you're equipped and built to handle it. So I really appreciate you, and we love you, and I just wanted to make sure that got out there.
We love you too, guys. This wasn't planned. We're gonna go ahead and close down the show. I have one to kind of make up that runs when you cry. But no, seriously, this has been amazing. It is, I guess that was the way to end up the show because we're coming to a close. But please let people know how to follow you, because I'm sure there are some parents that have questions. And so I apologize if you have to start charging your phone 4 times a day now. You may have to get a second phone, but tell them how to find you.
Best way to get in touch with me is through either social media or through email. You can email me at recruit.dsn.nf@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, DSN_North Florida on Instagram, DSN_NF_James on Twitter, or James D. Little on Facebook.
Awesome. So, and how do they find Miss Creations by Krystle? Global Creations by Krystle. And I'll say this, I'll give a little tag. She also does wedding planning. She doesn't necessarily, that's a part of her business. So if you're getting ready to get married or thinking about getting married, moving, all of the stuff, go ahead down the list. What do you do exactly?
So I do interior decorating. I do home organization. That's mainly my baby. I love organizing. I do events, coordinating and decorating.
Baby showers.
Everything.
Name it.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Anything that you don't want to plan, decorate, color, be artistic about, she's your go-to. So how do they find you?
Mostly Instagram, Creations by Krystle FL currently. Creations by Krystle.
Krystle with a K.
Creations with the K and Krystle with the K.
Yes.
FL. And that's on Instagram.
Awesome.
That's why I'm having
And your family's Instagram account.
Oh, yeah.
Little known
crew, yeah.
Yes.
Crew with the K.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, as we close out, you guys have a big announcement.
Yes.
Go ahead and tell us about
What's our
Jaden.
biggest announcement?
Your second oldest.
Yes. Our second oldest son, Jaden, just committed to Johnson's University on Monday after us having, actually, yes.
Sunday, actually.
So,
Today's
no.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, man, my days. See, not getting up and going to work every day messed up my calendar.
What day is Sunday?
I thought it was Wednesday.
Tuesdays is Get in the Game day.
Tuesdays Get in the Game. Okay, so we had a Zoom call with Coach from Johnson University, Coach Landis, Coach Diaz, Coach Pogash. Those guys are great. My son, they treated him like a Division I top recruit the whole time. It's a Christian university down in Kissimmee, Florida.
Awesome.
They love him. They've wanted him from the beginning. He was comfortable enough to go ahead and say he wanted to commit there. He verbally committed Monday night after the call.
Yeah.
We got the okay to post it on social media. We wanted the school and other people to see from the school. With everything going on, we wanted to put some good news out.
Yes.
His high school coach was on board, so yeah, let's get some good news out there. It's his first kid getting recruited as a high school coach at Ed White.
That's amazing.
So it's a lot of firsts going on with it. Jaden has worked his behind off. He's earned every bit of it. I put him through the ringer because I told him it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to be easy on him about it. We've traveled up and down, from your brother. We've been up and down Georgia, all up and down Florida last summer, just to get him comfortable with the process.
Yeah.
and it's not easy, but I told them today, you know, the road is not easy, but it's a road that we chose.
Yeah.
So we're gonna accept everything that comes along with it. All I do is support. You know, I never want to be the parent. My son got started late. Both my sons got started late because I never want to be the parent trying to live through my child. I wanted them to have the love and the passion to want to do it, and then give them the tools to get better. And then if they became the type of athlete I think they can be, I'm going to give them everything they can to be a success. That's
awesome.
that's my role as a dad. So
awesome.
That's what I've done, and it worked out for my son, and he's a college commit now.
And that's why parents who are in the same situation maybe that James was with Jaden. Listen, he said in the beginning of the show that Jaden was his guinea pig. So we are comfortable with saying that the test results are in and success is inevitable when you work with James D. Little of the Dream Scouting Network and get everything designed by his lovely wife. Creations by Krystle. Guys, that's all for this evening. Listen, next week, you guys definitely want to tune in. We are going to talk about health and wellness during this whole COVID virus scare. We're going to have on a health and wellness coach to talk about healthy eating, nutrition tips, and how to keep moving and stay healthy during this time. You definitely don't want to miss it. It's going to be a live show. We'll have someone here to take your questions. And you know you guys can always find us on social media. GetInTheGameShow@gmail.com. You can also follow me personally on Facebook, Satara Bunch, that's Bunch with an E, and Instagram and Twitter @BunchOfLegs, that's LEGZZ. Don't forget to follow 904live.com. And if you or anyone you know would like to be a sponsor or partner with Get in the Game, send us an email at GetInTheGameShow@gmail.com. Thank you to my producers, Mr. Stefan Petty, Mr. Allen, the best momager on the planet, Melinda Henry, and my stylist in Atlanta, Barbara J. See you guys next week. Have a good evening. Stay safe. And don't forget to dream. Have a good night. Bye.